girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Guys, this is the first Scandals with Shan, and I've kind of tried to go for a very black theme. I want it like very black and white, very dark, very neutral. Apart from our little fella here, this is the new Baby Yoda cushion that Mum got me, and I thought for one of the topics we was going to discuss, he was very, very practical. And I do also have my Baby Yoda throw. I've tried to make it as dark and cozy as I can do with what I've got, my lovelies. Like, trust me, I would love to have a little fireside chair in a corner, a nice little lamp, a few skulls around me. I can't do that just yet. I have to make do with what I've got, but I have got my little globe lamp there, so hopefully that brings a little something. I was thinking of trying to put something here in this corner, but I just don't know. So it is a work in progress, okay? It is a work in progress. But for this month's Scandals with Shan, I asked you over on my Instagram accounts, the food or lifestyle. Always do question boxes on there, guys. If you want to get involved, just keep an eye on and be regular. I asked you what had caught your eye this month, this week, that is going on in the world. There is one particular case that was cropping up quite a lot, and then there was a few others. So I've done a little bit of delving. I've got some screenshots, and as I say, please, whatever I say in these videos, do not take as gospel. This is just me sitting in my room voicing an opinion which is probably irrelevant to yourself, all right? But shall we sit down and have a little catch up and see what scandals have been rocking the world, eh? Right, so I wanted this very much like a chill vibe, like a sit down with Shan, but I thought, why not go over to the chaise lounge? So the first one that seemed to pop up quite a few times was about UK possibly joining Ukraine. We all know what is going on currently there, and did I think that it was going to go on this long? No, absolutely not. Yoda, you all right there, darling? You're slipping a bit. We're just gonna stay there, right? I think it started last May. It was just about the time before my birthday, and I don't know if anyone else had the opinion. I thought it would be a couple of weeks. Putin was throwing his toys out of the pram, and then he would stop. And here we are all these months later, and he still hasn't stopped. I tend not to look too much into it because I do feel it could be quite negative and quite worrying, and stuff like that I feel will trigger my death anxiety. So half the time when it first started and they had all of these articles coming about if London was to be here, and the Russian people saying that on recordings of TV programs they could wipe Britain out, stuff like that, I don't need to know. I don't need to know that. I just need to live my best life here with Baby Yoda. But I do understand how it's getting more and more in the news, I think. But as I say, I tend to stay away from it. However, I did do a little bit of a research. So because UK is part of NATO, obviously they are the colony of countries that Ukraine, I believe, is trying to get into. If Russia was to attack any one of those NATO countries, without obligation, without any hesitation, Britain would have to get involved, unfortunately, because that is the agreement. If one of those countries was to ever be attacked, everyone else would then have to go in. I was looking into what we've actually contributed towards this, and we are the second largest military donors. We committed 2.3 billion in 2022. So the number one of donors towards Ukraine is the USA. They have been very generous with funding and their machinery, everything like that. But I didn't realise that we was actually the second largest to get involved within that side, let's just say. It says also, so this was live as of the 16th of January, the UK will begin training the Ukrainian armed forces to use tanks and guns, said Ben Wallace. Today's package is an important increase in Ukraine's capabilities. Now, I understand why they're doing it. Obviously, you want to help countries protect themselves against... I can't even find a word for that man. I really can't. He just... I really don't want to offend anyone, but I think it's little man syndrome. He's a little man with too much power. And I'm very surprised that people within his organisation have not tried to overturn him. because I feel if this was like this many, many moons ago, something would have happened within that constituency and he would have been overturned and someone else would have come into power. I don't know who is there to come into power. Would they see this as an atrocity, what he's doing, and cease it? I really don't know. It's very unpredictable. And to think in this day and age that we are actually going through this and the potentials of whatever could be in the future, it is very scary. I mean, there was a lot of speculation about and videos with the said man, let's just say, regarding health issues. How long was stuff terminal, was conditions progressing, and certain videos seem to back up these theories, but I don't think anything has ever been fully confirmed as to if there was anything wrong. Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because you do want to help, and as humans you see what is going on and you know that that's not right, but you also, you have to worry for yourself. And I remember when it all started, I was watching videos and they were saying like how all the armies around the world, and the British Army is not to be messed around with. And then they showed the Gurkhas, and wow, where are them people hiding? And I think, like, when you look at the statistics and everything with the wars and what you've won and everything like that, it still is frightening though, because obviously when World War One and World War Two went on, technology was very limited. However, now technology is way more advanced. And I remember when there was scenes of them testing certain objects and you just think, why are you testing them? Like, it does get you worried, but as I say, I don't want to dwell too much on that because it is something that I think will really, I could sit there and think about it for hours, and I'm just like, no, we don't want that, do we, Yoda? We don't want that at all. So yeah, are we going to get involved? I don't know. You can never say never, but I just hope that the people in charge think rational and actually look at the bigger picture as to what on earth would happen if things did escalate to that means. Because I'm not too sure, my lovelies, I'm not too sure. There was another one, I've never heard about this, so I did a little research, and it was, what did the US shoot down over Alaska? Now, all of this stuff fascinates me, okay? So I went on to good old Google, and it said a fighter jet from Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Alaska took down an object. Whenever they say object, that's something a little bit iffy to me. And it said within US sovereign airspace over US territorial water. The Pentagon press secretary said it was successful and that was it, but there hasn't been too much delved into it. It said the object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet at about 20 to 40 miles per hour. It's the same level as commercial planes. So it wasn't like this was miles in the air. This is where planes, so this is where normal like air traffic, I would assume, flew. And it said it had flown over parts of Alaska but was heading towards the North Pole before it was struck down. Why would you be going to the North Pole? I mean, my first instinct was, oh my God, Santa. It's not Santa, okay? And that's probably very childish of me to say, but there must be a reason why it was heading in that direction. I'm not too sure what is up that way. It immediately got shot down and they said it was a success, but they did not have any further details. The object was unmanned. That's the thing that gets me. So you have this thing flying at a specific height, which is the same height as normal planes fly, and it was unmanned. So how is that being controlled, and who is controlling that? That is what I was a little bit, when I started looking into it, I was a bit like, so it was unmanned, so it got off the ground without human force, for example. It's then being controlled by something because it knows which level to be at. It is obviously in a clear direction, so someone or something is controlling the direction. What on earth is going on? It said, and also because there's been problems I was seeing on this, the altitude. There's been a balloon over China that's caused a little bit of disarray. I think that's a big controversy thing. What is going on with that? That is something I don't even want to delve into, because I'm just like, what is it? I have looked at an image and I don't know what it looks like. The image is basically it's as it is shown being struck, so you can't see it beforehand. But I don't know. I always think when they say object, I feel like I'm going to have to bring you into it, Yoda, with the whole Star Wars and that. That to me just screams aliens. There, I said it. I am very much a believer that we are not the only humans, creatures, existence in this world. I feel there have been too many sightings, cover-ups that people have tried before information's been leaked for there not to be something. Like, I would love to. It's never going to happen, because you will never, ever, ever get the opportunity, unless you become the president, I believe, to know what on earth is Area 51. That is something that will haunt me until my dying day. I would love to know what is in there. I don't know, I think it was about 2-3 years ago, I really got into aliens. You might think, Shan, that's very weird. I watched a film on Netflix, and it was a true story, and they had part true footage and part reenactment, and I cannot for the life of me remember what this movie is called. If you know what I'm going on about, please let me know down below, because it was a great movie. And it was basically a story of a woman, and I feel like she was a therapist, or it showed therapy sessions, I feel, of people, and it flicked between reenactments and real footage. And it was where they feel that this particular village was being infiltrated by aliens or some type of force. And I always remember the end scene. There's like 2 police officers, and they're watching the house, and this thing comes over, and this lady's children go missing, literally vanish. And I feel as if at the end they never found them, and they felt that she was crazy because of what she was saying, because the footage went distorted when the children went missing, and they thought she'd done something to the children. And it was a fantastic film. That's really going to bug me that I can't remember the name. But I do feel that there is stuff out there. Like, if you go on and you look into Area 51 and you look into the archives of bits and bobs and photos of like where they say the UFO come in, the crater hole, autopsies. Now, that's one thing. The photos look very real, but if you will know if you've seen it, it's almost like an alien is on a board and they're doing an autopsy and they're inspecting everything like that. And part of me thinks that could be very staged. Part of me thinks no, because of the age and the era that it was. And there's just some stuff in there that looks too lifelike. The fact that you can't find it on Google Maps, like it's blurred. The fact you can't drive or go within so many meters of the border and there's armed people. Like, I've watched videos. Oh, sorry, Yoda. I've watched videos of people on YouTube where, say, like, they've gone to try and get in there or something, and within, like, you get so far, and it's not like a gentle, can you move along? They're guns. These people are gunned. They are telling you to get off that land, otherwise they will shoot. There is something. You would not have that if there was no reason. You can't fly over it, I believe, either. And I don't know. And that actually will haunt me until my dying day. I wonder if we will ever find out what is in Area 51. See, Area 51, I feel like I could do a whole episode on, because there's just too much speculation around it. It's just not, there's something there, and I'm sure it's like only the president knows what is in there at the time. So, like, you think Obama and Trump and Biden, they know them. They know what's in there. Imagine if one of them was just like, sod it, I'm going to leak it all. Can you imagine the catastrophic effects? I mean, at least I would be able to sleep at night. I would know what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. That the photo it showed was only as it was struck. It didn't show it previously, but it does make you question, could it be something to do with what is happening in Ukraine, for example? Because the US are the #1 providers. Is it maybe a warning? Who knows? But it's weird why it was heading. I'm going to have to find a map after this and see what is up in the North Pole. Why would you be going towards that? Could it be, I don't know. Could it be an army base? I don't know. That one's baffled me. But yeah, I love, if you can't tell, I do love everything like UFO, alien. I just find it fascinating. I find it absolutely fascinating. Right. Someone said Jesus coming back. Now, I tried to research this up, and I tell you what, my lovelies, I must have found 20 different dates of when Jesus is coming back. I, as you know, am an atheist. I do not believe in a God. If you was to ask me what I do believe in, I would probably say I believe in the devil and paranormal activities. I do believe in the spiritual world and ghosts. I feel personally there is a lot more proof, sightings, existence of paranormal activity to what be a God. Please don't take that as an offence. That is just my personal opinion. But I feel with what's going on in the world, it's more bad than good lately. And I just think, what on earth is happening, unless it's all a test? Unless it's all a test, but that is one cruel test. So yeah, I don't know if Jesus is coming back. We shall see on the day of reckoning. Now, one of my lovelies says the 90s kids Mandela effect. And I was like, what on earth is that? You know what? I've looked this up and I am baffled. It is basically saying the Mandela effect makes us question things from the past. It's how we remember it as to how it actually is. And I'm thinking, no. So, for example, one of these ones, Looney Tunes. So I remember Looney Tunes as Looney Tunes, like you see on the photo here. But actually, Canon, oh, it might be a bit too bright for Canon. Canon, can you focus, darling? There we go. So I remember it as Looney Tunes, but it actually was Looney Tunes. Oh, God. We are very dark. We need to come back to some... I know it's dark, Canon, but we've got to try and keep it so people can see us, you know. And it was like Curious George. Curious George's towel was never there. I always remember the monkey with the towel, but it never was there. Another one, what was it? This was it, King Henry VIII. So there is a famous picture of King Henry VIII. It's like his portrait. And I always remember it with a turkey leg or like a chicken leg. But apparently it's not. He never blooming had that. So I'm like, okay. The Monopoly Man, he never had a monocle. I always thought Monopoly Man had a monocle. And I was looking through these and I was like, whoa. Like actually how, like this one, the Flintstones. I thought it was Flintstones and it weren't. It was Flintstones. I never remember the two T's. I have been looking at this and I'm like, no, how? And this one, so when you think of Forrest Gump, I always think life is like a box of chocolates. And it says, if you listen closely, he says, life was like a box of chocolates. I always knew it as life is like a box of chocolates. Aye. And then where is it? Mirror, mirror on the wall. They said, no, that wasn't a line in Snow White either. In fact, the Wicked Queen says magic mirror on the wall. Childhood has been ruined. It has. I always remember it mirror, mirror on the wall. Magic mirror on the wall. Just like, no. And it's like there's stuff from Mum's thing, like Clarice, Queen, theme songs, stuff that is like the States. I really like, I'm like, oh my God. Isn't it weird how your brain like will rationalise things that, oh no, that's not right. Isn't it weird how your brain like just thinks of things in such a weird way, and it's like you remember it, that is how you remember it, that is how it was. And that has just shown that it's not like that. Oopsie. Right, I am going to go and get a little quick drink, and then we shall get back in with part 2 of Scandals with Shan. What has been happening in the world, eh? Right, let's get in, let's get in. So, another one that cropped up was Britney Spears. Now, I again have not been following this religiously, but I did have a little delve because I remember seeing there was a video of her at a restaurant and she seemed very erratic. Then I remember that there was videos that she'd put up that people were saying it was not Britney. They were saying it was not her and it was an impersonator. Then I saw videos had been put up and they said it didn't marry, like her voice wasn't the same. It was almost like her voice had been doctored. And I was a bit like, what on earth is going on? Like, she is someone who I grew up absolutely idolising, loved her music. And then, obviously, in, I feel it was 2021? Was it 21? Because she finally got her conservatorship sorted. It stopped, didn't it? She was freed from her 13-year conservatorship, which, how on earth did that, or was that allowed to go on for that long? Like, that absolutely baffles me that she had no control at all. And the fact that a family would do that, I don't understand. I understand if it's for medical grounds, I completely understand that, but I feel that it was for like profitable gains, and that's not fair. I mean, everyone will remember the iconic moment she had a meltdown and shaved her head. That is when you know someone is at breaking point. And I don't know if she ever really got the help that she needed. I don't know. But when I typed in what is happening with Britney, they said that at the moment she has been struggling with mental health and substance abuse, and the family and her husband are trying to stage an intervention because they've said that her health concerns are actually a lot worse than what her fans would think, and it's quite worrying at the moment. I feel like my age, so if you're a 90s baby, there have been a lot of our like childhood stars that have gone off the rails, haven't they? I mean, a lot of them have turned to drink or drugs, and I do feel it was through that era of being thrust into the spotlight, and like they would be on like primetime Disney Plus or Nickelodeon. And if you're a child and all of a sudden you have all of this fame and everything like that, you just think, what on earth am I to do? And if you don't have like the guidance or something there, it's probably very easy to go down them wrong paths. But a lot of them now, you see they've grown up, they've matured, they've kind of got their life on track now. There are still a few that I see crop up and I'm like, oh, I just wish, like, I don't know, I wish better for them. There's like one that I used to watch, a young lady on a Nickelodeon, I think her channel was. And it seems like they just go down a downward spiral. It seems to start with drink, then it will go to drugs, and then obviously that affects mental health, and sometimes there's like eating disorders involved and everything like that. I'm just like, I don't know, I do feel sorry for them. I do feel like, I don't know, like obviously there's guidance there, but it's not fair, I feel. And when they're trying to heal and they're constantly being handed by the paparazzi, I think like that, they're still a normal person. Like Britney, she just wanted to go and eat. She just wanted to go and eat, but obviously she can't just go and eat because she's just not a normal person. She is Britney Spears, the icon. And I do get that, because you think if you just wanted to pop out to the shops, or you wanted to pop to McDonald's drive-thru and you had people following you and hounding you. No, I don't think I would like that either. Apparently that there's a regular source that said that they're afraid something bad is going to happen, and that she has been flying off the handle regularly and not taking medications to stabilise her. I feel that could still be a mind process, perhaps, of thinking that people are trying to control her, obviously because of what she's gone through. She's had 13 years of people saying, do this, don't that. Like, when you actually read up on what she was allowed and what she wasn't allowed to do, for people to have that type of control, I think should be goddamn illegal. it was like she wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend, and like birth control. Ridiculous stuff like that baffles me that was allowed to go on. I don't know why there was no one who stepped in at that point. I don't know. Or did they step in and they was told, like, button up? I'm not too sure. I do feel sorry for her, though. I do feel sorry. And, like, it's worrying when you see sometimes her Instagram posting her stories and then it said on there, like, she deactivated it, just completely went off the grid. So, obviously, fans were concerned about that. But her husband, I don't know what I feel of her husband. I'm not going to lie, guys. I feel there is something iffy. I feel there's something iffy. I don't quite know. And there was something that, because all of this stuff at the moment, like Illuminati, I saw a video of Billie Eilish doing the worm or the snake, and they're like, why is she allowed to do that? And apparently it's a link to the Illuminati. Jeffree Star done a tweet, I feel it was like last year, and he says, in 2020 I was going to expose everything. In a matter of days, the Hollywood elite tried to ruin my entire career, villainise me and flooded the news with lies to discredit me. If you guys only knew the truth about what they are doing to Britney and Kanye. And this is another thing. Kanye West is another one that seemingly has lost his path at the moment. He's a little bit erratic, and I don't know. What is going on? What is going on that no one knows about? Because there's also been a statement from Perez Hilton, who is a very well-known, I would say he's like a blogger. He does blogs and TikToks and everything like that. And he says that the fans are warranted for their concern. And he said nobody has speculated on what's really happening. And I just want to send Britney genuine love. I hope she knows the world is rooting for her. She is beloved, and this is mainly for Britney's fans. Your concern is warranted, but if and when the truth comes out, I think it would really surprise people. It surprised me. So it's like, what is going down? He's saying that, where are we? He shot down the theories about green screens and clones and everything like that. And he does believe Britney is alive, which we can clearly see when she was at the restaurant. She is alive and well, the woman just wanted to eat. However, I don't know. There is just something about her husband. I don't know, guys. I really don't. It might just be my thing. If you feel the same or different, let me know down below. But I don't know. Something just doesn't seem to be adding up. And I don't know what. You know? I don't know what. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, bless. That's what I think. I feel sorry for her, because I feel like she's someone I would really like to see, like, just have a break, like, take a break and enjoy life as you are and just try and get back on track. And I'm going to end on the one that literally flooded. Like, I've probably got 30, 40 boxes here, all about the case that is all over the news in the UK at the moment, and that is the Nicola Bulley story. Again, please do not take anything I say as gospel. This is just my interpretations of what has been put out there and what potentially could be the outcomes. So, she vanished on the 27th of January. I feel the 27th now, it's like well over a couple of weeks, isn't it? 27th of January. It was 2 weeks yesterday, so I'm filming this on the 11th. It was 2 weeks yesterday. It's just very... There was another one linked to it saying that they was comparing her husband to Chris Watts, which... If you know about Chris Watts, I'm not even getting into him in this one, because he, again, could be a completely another scandals with Shan. He makes my blood boil. That man makes my blood boil. If you know about the story of him, you will know why. So the theory with the lady in England is that she fell into the river. But there was things that didn't add up. So it said she went out, she left her car parked in an area and went for a riverside walk with her dog. However, her family still don't know why. There seems to be a time gap now that the police are investigating. I feel it's like a 2-hour window. They said she was walking along part of the river at 8:43 and was seen by a fellow dog walker. So they've been trying to get like sightings and everything like that. Who knows art when she was in the lower field. This is the thing that baffles me. So she went on to send the email and logged into a conference call, as she normally would do. And then she was seen again at 9:10 by another dog walker. And then 25 minutes later, approximately, her phone, while still connected to the call, was found on a bench in the steep riverbank overlooking the water with a dog lead and harness on the ground. Now, looking at it, and I'm looking at the map of the locations and everything, it looks like a fairly long river to be, like, I don't know much about rivers, but it looks fairly long. The main line of inquiry was that she fell. And I believe the last thing that I read was that has been exhausted, and now they're actually looking into the sea, and they're seeing whether anything potentially could have gone into the sea, which I wouldn't like to think that. I would like to think that she's still here, and it's just, I don't know, one of these misunderstandings. But I don't know. I feel that, because they said there's been like hundreds and hundreds of volunteers like searching the rivers, everything like that. I don't know. Surely the rivers can't be that deep. If they're saying that they've searched everything, I feel, why is there not maybe a presence to look on land? Maybe, I know that they're saying that there's like 500 lines of inquiry a day, like look through that, the sighting CCTVs. I don't know. I really don't know with this one, guys. The fact that the call was on the bench, the phone was on the bench connected to a call. For me, if you fell in a river, you would have your phone on you. So I don't know, but I saw a thing, the latest interview with her husband, and her husband believes she's not in the river. The husband is adamant, and her family are adamant that she's not in the river. So surely you would think, if you have a husband and a family saying that, why is there not other points of contact that are being exhausted, like on land? Going around trying to pick up any form of CCTV for that little window. I'm sure that they said it was a 2-hour window, which they couldn't quite account for. I don't know. And it says like it was a regular day. It was a regular day. 700 motorists they're seeking for like dash cam footage to see if anything has been said. And the river, it's 32 miles long. Flows through the Lancashire to join the Irish Sea at Fleetwood. But they've extended searches to water in Morecambe Bay and Knott End. But it was a normal day. Her husband said Nikki would never give up on us. She wouldn't give up on anybody, and we're not going to give up on her like we're going to find her. There has to be a way to find out what happened. You cannot, and he says you cannot walk your dog down a river and just vanish into thin air. Something has happened. She dropped her daughters off at school. But that is the thing that gets me. The fact that the phone was set up on the bench like for the call. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I really don't want to offend anyone. Please do not take what I say as gospel. I feel like she may have been taken. I feel it's definitely something on land. I don't think the theory of being in the river, I mean, it would be your first point of call, but I don't feel the river would be my first point of call, because if you was walking your dog, and you've seen it in movies before, if something happens, a dog will run alongside and bark to get people's attention. If they see their owner in distress, they either try to jump in, or the majority of them would run along a walkway barking to get attention, to be like, help, help, help. None of that happened. And I just don't know. Like, the fact to me, I don't feel they've searched the grounds where she was walking. It seems to be they've just been searching the sea. If they have searched the grounds, they haven't found anything. But I don't feel like there's been a full search of the grounds. I'm not entirely sure. As I say, I have seen it pop up. But again, there's too much badness in this world. There's too much badness and sadness and just downright horrible stuff that should not be happening to regular people wanting to just walk their dog. Like, as her husband said, she's vanished. She has literally vanished. So what is the explanation for this? And I guess it's going to take a while until we find out, if we ever do. I do hope that they find out. because I feel sorry for her family, her husband, her 2 little girls. This is the thing. If they'd have said, well, something was a bit funny or something was a bit off, but they said it was a normal day. I don't know. When I see it come up on the news, like, I will watch it, but I try not to, because you can get very involved in these, can't you? And you can sit up all night worrying and thinking of possible scenarios and overthinking situations. And I just think there has to be some type of reasoning. And when I saw on there, people said that they've been comparing her husband to Chris Watts, I'm like, if that was to come at a scenario like this in England, I feel there would be outrage, just like there was in America. That was, no. It infuriates me just thinking, oh my God, it just annoys me. But yeah, I don't know. But I guess we will just have to keep following the news and seeing what updates the police have, how they're getting on with their searches, whether they will take it to the land, if not already, whether they're still focusing on the seas and the rivers. Who knows? But I hope she's found very soon. It's not nice, is it? Start of a new year and it's 2 little girls, or I think it's 2 girls, or 2 children missing out on their mum at the moment, and no one knows what on earth is happening. But I think we are going to conclude Scandals with Shan there, my lovelies. So, how did that go? As I say, I'm not quite sure what the topic's going to be for every month, guys. It may be that we will do a reading from a crime book. I might ask you on Instagram, like, about a certain particular crime or gangsters or anything like that. Or we might have a conspiracy theory. I will throw up a subject and I will be like, fire away. What do you think on XYZ? But I thought, because the headlines seem to be very manic at the moment all over the world, I thought, you know what, let's see what has took your eye. And as I say, a few of them have been stuff that I've seen. The Mandela effect, that was something I hadn't seen, and I was like, that's got the brain thinking that, because you're like, how we perceive it or how we remember it to how things actually are, it just baffles me. I mean, Yoda, what do we think was flying over Alaska? I have a feeling, I know, I think that too. But guys, if you do have any suggestions how I can maybe make this like little area just a little bit, I might try and add something here, get a little lamp. But please remember, I have to try and work with the confines of my bedroom. I can't be redecorating the house as much as I would love to. I can't be redecorating the house or knocking down walls. I just have to make do with what I've done. But I quite like being on the chaise lounge. Quite like being on this as opposed to the bed. The bed will be sit down with Shan. The chaise lounge can be the Scandals with Shan, eh? But if you did enjoy the video, guys, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment. What do you think of any of the cases that have been going on? And as I say, please do not take any offence to what I have said. It is just my opinion, and I do hope that I haven't offended anyone. But yes, take care, stay safe as always, and I shall see you tomorrow for a brand new video, which is another little haul. It's a surprise haul. You've got a few hauls coming this week because it's the month of self-love. It's the week of love. Why not treat ourselves, eh? Take care and stay safe as always. Bye, guys.